allow the two children to have the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, my ego diary politico, my ego don't come, this man not the off in mind, my ego don't come, aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get wetin suppose get for this country. Una never hear something. Now go hear one, my ego. You go show na paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we laugh, oh, yo. Don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the man. My ego la wa mo la mo do. My ego diary, na you be number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làwọn tó jódodo. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary na ibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary na lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary, na you be number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ o, làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Mayegun diary, na you be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Prẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Hello there. So good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And a good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun's brunch time with Mayegun, rather live. So thank you very much for joining me. Remember, after you read the caption of the broadcast, please read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it, the broadcast. So invite your friends and your not so friendly friends and tell them that Mayegun's brunch time is on. And again, just to remind you, the brunch time is also an open mic where you can phone in anytime. Yeah, once I see your call, I can pause whatever I'm saying and then, take your call and then go back on it onto what I'm saying. So yeah, the rider for the brunch time this afternoon is the new wave of the supposed controversy, or rather, to put it like rightly, supremacy battle between two prominent Yoruba obas that both have historical narrative or evidence to back, their own positions. Alaafin of Oyo and Ooni of Ife. From the moment the Alaafin of Oyo was nominated and his coronation scheduled, and immediately after that as well, it seems like the new Alaafin wanted to kind of like set boundaries, because according to him and people around him, it seems that Ooni of Ife does not know his place in the Yoruba traditional hierarchy. Something they have actually shown, it's sort of like contempt towards each other, that we have people have observed, raised concerns, and in fact, they've taken both of them up on that, like, what's going on? And they have both said, no, everything is fine, right? While their public utterances seems to negate that. So there is so much to unpack from this, as this is Yoruba, and we all have our biases and sentiments and what have you as well. That's why I am not here to come and tell you history. I'm actually going to be looking into it politically, because that is what I think it is. And you might have your own different opinion about all of this, but the bottom line is to use these kinds of situation to remind the Yorubas, including myself, why we have become so lost, almost inconsequential in this their project, Nigeria. The reason why it seems like, it seems like we have been sold out, right? And right now, we seem to be just living on old glories. Oh, Yorubas, we used to. So is it this division among these supposed leaders, traditional rulers in Yoruba land, political leaders? They have those they call the opinion molders. You see all these characters that makes up this society. The movement, right? They are charting different kind of like different causes. So there is no way, right? The people will be united to actually push anything meaningful. Gone are the days when the Yorubas will call conferences and discuss the Yoruba issue and decide to make that, right, the general agenda of the Yorubas, whether political or traditional or religious or, economic, whatever leadership that exists in Yoruba land will drive that narrative. And they used to, get into some logical conclusions. Unfortunately, when you probe some of those things too, in the long run, you realize that the unison that some of these guys who are like the leaders, traditional, political, and the rest of them, the unison amongst them, is never really in the general interest of the Yorubas, even though most of the agendas are kind of like built on Yoruba this, Yoruba that. And why did I say that? Since 1960, right? Positively or negatively, since we've been part of this contraption, right? We have played our own significant role. Like we have not really been a pushover per se when it comes to their leadership arrangement in that contraption. And that is why I said that for those who united to use Yoruba as their meal tickets, right? It never really reflected on the generality of the Yoruba. So the missing unison, or pretty much like the now well-pronounced division that exists, as much as a lot of people would like to gloss over it, can be the real picture can be seen through the actions of these characters. And unfortunately, they were also there when the traditional institution that is so revered in Yoruba land, right, for being part of Nigeria, became so watered down, demystified, and made almost like useless, although they tend to pretend that it's ceremonial, right? So in their constitution, they reduced the traditional rulers in Nigeria, including Yoruba land, they reduced them to ordinary local government civil servants, whether you are paramount ruler or whether you are this. So majority were just living, again, cooperation of those who want to tell us about history and the history that makes us who we are, but rather they are on a different path entirely, different path that contradicts, what they want us to believe. I'm a Yoruba man. We are strong people. We have this, very rich history. We are like princes and princesses, like like a princess Balogun would say. You see all these things that they made us believe. But in the long run, when you look at it deeply, you realize that these institutions have become pretty much like political tools, where the rich historical background of theirs are now considered as old glory. They have no kind of capacity to replicate the same history, the history where you actually bond together and say, this is what we want, and that's it. We want Yoruba nation. We want this, stuff that actually makes strong, strong advocacy if you have united their leaders. So, but because they have become political tools in the hands of they are kind of like a political class in the country. So they are mere local government workers in the whole scheme of things. And that is why, and this is because of this Nigeria. So this is why, that is why you have Ooni of Ife is recognized as, like the number one sort of like a paramount ruler from the western part of Nigeria. Although some will be like, no, historically it shouldn't be like that, blah, 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 blah. But right now, Ooni of Ife, the Sultan of Yokoto, two of them are being made permanent co-chair for the Nigeria Traditional Ruling Council or something, rulers. Meanwhile, somebody like Alaafin of Oyo, who is also kind of like building on his own historical, existence, so to say no, I can't be under Ooni, but you can't take it off with them in Abuja because probably nobody will listen, right? So in that process, the battle for supremacy is now within these traditional rulers. I can't say much of other places, so I'm just going to speak more of Yorubaland, where supposed the prominent ones who are supposed to chart this sort of like unity, kind of to drive it, right? They are on different paths. So what happened? They said, Ooni of Ife, Oba Enitan Ogunwusi, right? Appointed somebody as the Okanlomo of Yorubaland. Now here is the battle. Okanlomo of Yorubaland, the man is from Ibadan, a businessman. Ooni of Ife is from Osun in Ile-Ife. But Ile-Ife is kind of always referred to as the source, because it is believed, right, that it was from Ile-Ife that the children of Oduduwa, 7 of them, migrated to establish some of the major towns that we have in Yorubaland today. But when you say Yorubaland as well, there are other sub-Yoruba groups, okay, whose their own emergence didn't kind of like come from these 7 children of Oduduwa. Okay, so in the long run, some believes that one of the Oduduwa's children was the one who founded the Oyo Empire, that became Oyo Empire. So therefore, Oyo is still supposed to be under Ife. And that makes Ooni of Ife the head of the Yoruba traditional rulers. There are some people with that argument. While others said no. It is true that Oduduwa's children, 7 of them, received a crown each, migrated to go and found different of these towns, including Oyo. But they had to do as children. The real Onirisha is just the chief priest to Oduduwa, was never crowned. So he can't be the father of Oduduwa's children when he didn't bear them. See that line of argument? Now this supremacy argument has been like it's been in existence for as long as I can remember. And there are those that there's nothing you can say that will make all sides, both sides with these narratives to agree. But Awolowo did succeed to some extent, which made him, which kind of gave birth to this Yoruba, extensive Yoruba land that you have today. Never used to be like that. All right. So, Ooni of Ife made somebody the Okanlomo of Yorubaland. And they're like, no, you can't. Alaafin for you, this current one, Owade Akim, said no. By design, Ife, that is meant to be the territory of this Ooni, right, was the Ife local government, which has now kind of like been broken into 3 local government areas. So Ooni of Ife's supremacy or rulership does not pass these 3 local government areas, which so many of the others considered as an insult. Why would you say that? Blah, 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 blah. This argument is on. So they went to Supreme Court, just so you know. They actually went to Supreme Court because of this supremacy thing. That who has the right to use Yorubaland in their own kind of like, operation. Is it Ooni of Ife or Alaafin of Oyo? So the Supreme Court of Nigeria, to complicate things, said, well, it's Alaafin of Oyo. And that particular Supreme Court judgment is what the Alaafin, this current one, is also kind of like using that. Well, this is Nigeria. So you, as Ooni of Ife, you don't have any right to use Yorubaland in your dealing. But you can use Oduduwa, Odua. Same Yoruba to Yoruba. So this was the argument behind the scene, that when, in fact, it wasn't this pronounced, because when Owuade was nominated and he was to be crowned on the day of his coronation, this Ogunwusi, the Ooni of Ife, was there, and everything seems like all right until after. And the new Alaafin of Oyo became Alaafin this year, is it not? Yeah, this year. So the whole controversy that has now led to giving Ooni of Ife 48 hours to withdraw that chieftaincy title he gave to somebody as Okanlomo of Yorubaland. It can only be Okanlomo of Ife. He has no right to appoint anybody as Okanlomo of Yorubaland. That the only person who can appoint any title and give anybody any title in Yorubaland and use that same kind of like name, Yorubaland, is the Alaafin. So sometimes they'll say, Agba Osi, Ìlú bàjẹ́. In the absence of the true elders, the society goes into disorder, lawlessness. And I strongly believe that is what is happening in Yorubaland. We have seen some of these crazy obas too who have kind of like done so much, right? But supremacy between the two prominent supposed obas, right? And like I said, this was after they both denied any sort of supremacy battle between them. Because it is believed that because Ogunwusi has had a very, very strong relationship with them in the north, and therefore the center. So this Alaafin is seeing it as an affront for Ooni to abuse tradition. Do you get that now? Because this is how it should be. While Ooni is like, what are you talking about? This is where we are. When Owuade was to be coronated, I picked up some videos, by the way, just to help this conversation. Like I said, you possibly have your own opinion about that. It's up to you. I haven't even dropped mine yet. But on that is coronation in Oyo. Ogunwusi was there, and everything seemed all right until after.
Ọba Ọọ̀ni Ilé-Ifẹ̀, Ọ̀gágá, Ọ̀gájá, ní ẹrù gẹ̀gẹ̀ tí gbogbo ilẹ̀ sílẹ̀, Ọọ̀ni wọlé o, Kábíyèsí sí wọlé ní o, ẹrù àti yún ẹ káàbọ̀. Ọba wa Ọọ̀ni Ilé-Ifẹ̀, Ọba Ògún.
Ile-Ife. They kept repeating it. And then after that, yeah, and this was in April, by the way, in April. So they met at an occasion. This where I think it was like for Yoruba Obas. Alaafin was already on seat. You know how they do their protocol. Confusion about their protocols to who is the head, who is the leader, right? So Ooni then arrived. Most of the Obas stood up to greet him. You remember that video now? Yeah, this is just a timeline towards that so that you can get to how did they didn't just wake up one morning, like started all of this. I think somehow, right, in my own opinion, through these observations, right, Owuade somehow possibly has been raging before he was nominated as Alaafin and then, crowned. He's probably been raging where he was living in Canada with the lifestyle of this Ooni. Somehow as a royal person, because I don't understand. I mean, I don't know how some people actually feels, right? Before this Ogunwusi came, you will barely see Ooni of Ife anywhere. Barely. Like, so Shijuade was like that. Like, barely. Right? But Ogunwusi, as a young Oba, changed that. Chose his own path to take the palace to the people. People used to go to the palace like it's like a pilgrimage. But Ogunwusi changed that, chose his own way of what you see now. So I wonder what it feels to some of you who have royal blood, right? Who are princes and princesses who could become kings all over the world watching. I don't know if some of you admires that or you somehow feel like. So that's what I suspect when it comes to this Owuade. Because the rate at which he kind of like ignited the battle between these two prominent stools, it was like immediate. It's not even like, oh, he's been a king for 5 years, 6 years. So somehow, he's no longer taking shit. No. He came in, and his first agenda is to checkmate this Ooni. Right? And I can't remember. Is that how you see all these praise singers, right? Take a look at this. I've been trying to kind of like work it out, right? That when Oba Adeyemi Alaafin the second, when he was alive, was he always like going about with these guys that like Ooni like this. So I'm not sure. I sort of remember that it was very much like a party person as well. Like I saw much of him outdoor than I did of Shijuade. So when this Owuade came in, the guy started using the same style like this Ooni. That people praises him, Kabiyesi, Oba Alaafin, Oyo, Iku Baba Yeye, is this, like they are doing for this Onirisha. And yeah, they met at an event. Royal fathers. They met at an event. While the other Oba stood up to say hello to this this Ooni. Owuade was like, no. That would be so demeaning. Like Alaafin can stand up for Ooni, no matter the level of his PR out there. Traditionally, I think so, though, right? Let me show you that clip. It was in April this year, April, I think. So a lot of us reacted that what could be going on? Like, Baba, there's so much going on in Yoruba land right now, especially for our Ibomino people in the Kwara South. We have seen videos of how our people run away from their homes because of the Fulani terrorism, Fulani terrorists. Do you know that historically, you can correct me if I am wrong, historically, after that, the Kiriji war, then that they come back with to Yoruba Parapo, and at the end of the day, the Yoruba general and all of that. You see, back then, whenever they experience or had any form of invasion, the border towns, most of them were like the Fulanis, terrorism that you are witnessing today. They've had it with us for more than 100 years. Do you understand? And every now and then, they've been defeated. I understand that of Ilorin. Ilorin is just like a 1/3 of what is called Kwara State today, right? And guess what? The Yoruba still make up over 70% of the same Kwara. Now, that is actually not where I'm going. What I'm trying to make up here is that in this day and time, where these terrorists are now openly ransacking our communities, our people, children, every one of them being raised, either killed or chased away from their communities. Back in the days, the Yoruba Obas or this Alaafin would have put together an army. And this army can come from all other parts of the Yoruba land, in what Americans always call the National Guard. You see what you have in America? That every state have their own different policing system and what have you. You also have a reserve for National Guard as your military or what have you. Yorubas used to have that too. That was how many of the Yoruba communities back in the days were saved from invaders. The idea that Awolowo reenacted in 1948, 49 to these 60s, that the only way Yorubas can be relevant, safe, and prosperous is when they are united together. So any form of attack, external attack, targeting Yoruba land, whether violently or politically, it is always better. Not that they didn't penetrate, they did penetrate eventually, the political parts. You all know how the story went. The moment they managed to penetrate, they were able to use some of the Yorubas against the same Awolowo in the long run. You know how that played out. But when the Yorubas were like that, the push for independence of Nigeria was so strong. Yorubas were at the forefront, united. That's the idea. It's been like that. We walked off the Fulanis for a century. But today, our Alaafin and, Ooni, they are engaged in supremacy battle. Who should make who? What? That's where I'm going. So he was asked in June. This was like less than 2 months ago. The Alaafin. Problem. Like Yorubaland needs a sort of like, no, because the problem, you know. And this was Uwade when he was asked. People are not blind. People are not stupid. A lot of people have a lot of things they would want those who claim to be your leaders to be doing, but nah, because they are not really leaders of anything. They can't even personally provide safety, improve economy of their own people. They can't. So they still have to, carry the crown and the agbada and everything to go and say they are the reception of a politician. Because that's how things gets done. They have no power, they have no nothing. Which makes so many people say, well, why don't they just scrap it? They don't really have any role other than to back whatever the criminal politicians are doing in this sense. So he was asked, Alaafin, is there a problem? His answer, this was in June.
kó tó di pé mo pé ṣe kan fẹ́ pé ọ̀dùn fi ń pamọ́ kó tó di pé a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ pé òkè a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe gbogbo ọ̀nà bá ṣe rìn gbogbo àwọn ìrìn àjò wa lára àwọn ọba tí mo fi sọ́kàn pé màá dọ́dọ̀ wọn náà ní kábíyèsí ọ̀nìrìṣà tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé iye yẹta àbí jẹrin ni mo ti bá àwọn PA mi àti COS mi sọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n wo ìgbà tí a lè lọ bá wọn wọ́n dẹ̀ ti pe àwọn tó jẹ́ PA wọn náà wọ́n bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ kó tó di pé wọ́n sọ fún wọn pé láìpẹ́ àwọn lọ sí Kazakhstan so àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n mọ̀ bó ṣe jẹ́ ni wọ́n kàn ń sọ̀sọ̀kúsọ lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì. àti kábíyèsí ọ̀nìrìṣà àníjà ní nǹkan kan ní gbólóhùn aṣọ kankan rí bó tilẹ̀ kó mọ mo dẹ̀ rántí náà nígbà kan tí bóyá kábíyèsí ṣọ̀hún tí wọ́n wà pẹ̀lú mi tájọ sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n pè wọ́n gbé mi sórí fóònù mo lè kí wọ́n kò sí ìjà kankan láàrin wa kò lè sí kínní àwọn tí wọ́n agbọ́ yìí sọ yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àwọn ni wọ́n ń sọ àwọn náà ní ipò ẹ̀dá ni wọ́n tinú mọ́rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kó tó di pé mo.
Àwa là ń kọ̀ sí ẹ̀. Àwọn ipò ẹ̀dá lórí social media gbọ́ yìí sọ yìí. So he categorically told the people there that they are cool. It's just all of you on social media that are, hearing this, saying this and that. But between us, they have no problems. Until this morning, until yesterday, when I didn't even know that they've appointed anybody as Okanlomo of Yorubaland. Those titles. Okanlomo, Oluomo of me now. If I have money now, I can go and become Oluomo of Ewekoro, Omonjomolo of Itonkin or Ijanikin or Ijanikin. Yeah. Omo foreign Toju foreign of Badagry. Oh, you get that? Just like what we had in Ijebu. You see, because I majored in Yoruba literature government, right? In my secondary school. Especially Yoruba literature, which kind of like helped me to understand Yoruba better. If you did Yoruba literature, that's where you get to learn about all those poem prose and, the history and all that stuff. All the stuff that majority of those who are actors are projecting as to whatever magical they are trying to prove it as. So I was part of that. very young and all that, and I was excellent. You get? So to me, when I was growing up, it was very clear that when you have the Oyomesi, yeah, so you have the Oba, you have the Otun, Osi, Ashipa, Iyalode, Balogun, Akogun, and all those titles. And it's almost the same everywhere. Because you have the king, you have the right hand man to the king, Otun, left hand man to the king, Osi, the minister of defense, Balogun, the women leader, the market women leader, Yalode, Abi, Yalode and the Yaloja. Yaloja is for the market women. The Yalode is generally the, she is the supreme women leader, sort of, in that hierarchy. And other titles too. Until I grew up and I realized that we in Ijebu, we have more than 500 Otumbas. Yeah, because our own Awujale, Sikiru Adetono, commercialized the title that they just give titles to all these guys. So you can see that one king had over 500 Otumbas from all over Nigeria, from all over the world. You will see some Americans, they are Otumbas in Ijebu. Yeah, husband and wife, Yeye Otumba. Otumba Charles Zelensky, Yeye Otumba Priscilla Charles Zelensky of Ijebuland, or Otumba King Chun or Jim. And then you see Yeye Otumba Jim Cha of Ijebuland. It became so ridiculous, but we just kind of like moved with it, like they could do it while we all saw the desecration of this same culture and tradition and all that. So Oba Uade, Oba Ooni of Ife, right? If you are from your state, maybe this will make it more personal for you, right? There are those who have the impression that the real Yorubas are the Oyos. So they are the real Yorubas who descended from Oduduwa. So us, like Ijebus and others, we are considered as a sub-Yoruba group. Now, if you are from Oyo, you are likely probably aware of this that I'm saying. And even if you're like a deeper Yoruba person, or majority have dismissed these innuendos, and dismissing things is one of the problems that we are dealing with. You talk about it. In Nigeria today, one of the problems they are facing is because a lot of people don't want to talk about some complex things, because in the process, they fear that they are going to possibly even lose more. Everybody has a thing or the other that they will tell you that Nigeria marginalized all of us, sort of. So now let's talk about that. No, don't talk about that one. You see, let's move on. Let's move on as one. We don't need all this. We don't need it. That's a Nigerian thing. So everybody will now bottle it in. They will now be dealing with one another suspiciously. And everybody will know. But they will just pretend that since they said, let's just pretend that it's not, let's just move on. How do you move together except you agree? Even Bible says, can 2 or 3 walk together except they agree? No. So my own point here is just to point it out to you why Yoruba is what Yoruba is right now. I know those of you who are older than us, like parents, like uncles, you probably had a very different Yoruba land and a different Nigeria when you were growing up. Now you are experiencing this. You could tell the difference, Abi. Rivalry between them didn't start today. Oh, don't get me wrong. Oh, it didn't start today. Oh. But within those rivalry, there was never a time that it became a public kind of like a discourse. And it wasn't around the time when Yorubaland was under attack, the siege of the Fulani terrorists, which the political class have done so well to downplay. But yet, the people are meant to be closer to us at the traditional. There are those who have, a kind of like, authority connection with us, spiritual, name it. But they are so distant from the people too. And so you go see Oba, they go carry camera put in front of Oba. They go they lament about the attacks in his community, how his people are struggling, suffering. I'm calling on government to please do something for us, help us. That one is not limited to Yorubaland, by the way. Because I saw those traditional rulers they pull up for Tifnubu in Benue after they killed all those people in Yawata. Remember? They all had to come to Makodi to come and speak to Kalu, who told them that they should go back and accept the deal that they should part with their lands. Some just need to give these killers some land. So Yorubas used to have this massive Obas meeting in Ibadan. They would take a position even during the military. Some people said that all those happened because the political class wanted them to speak in that direction. And none of them would dare right now speak openly against what they are facing, against the government, because that could be their end. They are just local government staff. A local government, if the governor wants to get rid of any king, whether paramount or not paramount, it is a local government chairman that will sign the letter. Your appointment, you are hereby terminated. Your staff of office is hereby withdrawn. That's it. All those rituals, all those traditional rites that you performed, everything, all the gods that are installed in, they won't matter then. You're inconsequential. And that's the system that ordinarily you will think, Yorubaland, if the Obas can just come together and just, our royal fathers, give us go ahead. He can't give you any go ahead. Because now for your face, they go put handcuffs in the hands of your royal father. Remove his crown, remove everything, put him inside their pong. You will see him on TV. They will put guns and everything in front of him. They will say he's the one sponsoring terrorists for going against wherever he's already planned against his kingdom. So this is the reality. Right? When Oyo State was under serious attacks, all those northern part of Oyo State, which they still are today. Ooni, okay, I'll still call him Ooni because I really want this probably to get to everybody that should hear it. The Ooni of Ife went to go and see Bokuwari. When he got to Abuja, Bokuwari said, according to him, he was there to tell Bokuwari that the Fulanis are really, really killing his people. What did Bokuwari tell him? Bokuwari said, no, come. You see that Sunday Igbo? I'm going to give you one last chance to tell him to stop all of that nonsense he is doing. And what was Igbo's nonsense? Igbo put together a team of young Yorubas and led them to the den of this Fulani terrorist. And then they broadcasted it to the world, what they saw. That got a lot of people on his side, and it also got him on the wrong side of these guys. What did Ooni of Ife, what did he say to Bokuwari? Please, I will talk to him. But he went there to complain about, there was no, I'll get the military to come down, but tell him to stop what he's doing. I'll send the military down next week or tomorrow, and they will comb all your forest for you and make sure that the terrorists living in the forest are clear. No, he didn't say that. He didn't. Oba Ogunwusi took pictures with Bokuwari. He posted it on social media to tell everybody that he went to go and discuss a national matter with Bukwari, a very serious security matter, and it was successful conversation. He posted it on social media. And when he got back to Ife, he sent for Igboho. And Igboho thought, oh, maybe Ooni of Ife want to commend him. So he went there, fanfare, like, only for Ooni to say, well, you know what? I have just one advice for you. Buhari is not happy with what you are doing. But he had spoken to him. And because Bukwari wanted to arrest him, but he has already spoken to Bukwari so that he won't do anything. So Sunday, you need to stop what you are doing. That's why he told Igbo, for your own good. I don't know how many of you will remember that though. So Igbo had to tell everybody that Igbo had to insult him. Now, what kind of a man is this? But unfortunately for Igbo himself, Ooni of Ife was speaking the mind of most of the Yoruba Obas that even he, Igbo, was praising, that they are receptive, they are supportive, they are the true Yoruba Obas. He didn't know. But I don't think it was up to a month because something happened after. They kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. And this was in June. So Igbo and everybody was like, we are going to stage a protest. And it's going to be a Yoruba Nation protest for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. How many of you remember that? Then July 3rd of that same year, a night before, Sunday Igboho's house was burned down in Ibadan. Then, hang on, I think that was like maybe a week before then. A day before the 23rd, a day before the 3rd of July, they came. And this time, it was to kill him. So since then, I've always been like, what kind of leaders do we really have in this place, for God's sake, man? They are more or less like working against the interest of Yorubaland, but to them, they are protecting Yorubaland because worse things could have happened if they have not been playing along. That's what they are saying. And this was under Bukwari. Now a Yoruba man is there right now. So then you realize it was never about Yorubaland. Never was. So their supremacy battle has now got into the Alaafin of Oyo, giving the Ooni of Ife 48 hours. Guess what? It's already 48 hours now. 48 hours to retract that title because you're passing your boundary. If you don't, then you will face the consequences. Okay, that will be interesting. Consequences, okay. Two paramount rulers amidst all going on. Yeah. Right. So Ooni of Ife responded, just briefly, and he said, I'm not going to respond to his threat. He's just a comedian. What? Yeah, he's just a comedian. That one is in the public already. So everybody is now waiting for what would that consequences be? And what is the way out? Scrap their traditional institutions? Or maybe organize the traditional rulers conference in Yorubaland and ask all of them, what exactly is their purpose? Is it as dictated by the fake constitution of that contraption that makes them so much like irrelevant lot, just filling up the space? Or is it about the same tradition they believe their own ancestral tools that they believe that they are preserving for the future generations as well? there may be something needed to be done, something different. I don't see way out. We are dealing with these ones now. We're going to deal with a lot of others too. They are all going to remind us that we are wondering why the Yorubas are what the Yorubas are today, in this contraption where those who are supposed to actually represent us, care for us, are more interested in what they will get and how they will get what they will get from this same corrupt system, using us as their meal ticket because they are Yorubas. I'll leave that to those who want to add their own voice to that. Let's go to something else. You see this man, I think he's at the, what do you call it? APC, APC, Egbekegbe's member. He dropped a snippet. Let me see if I still have it. All right. So dropped a snippet on, this their by-election, as well as said their 2027 plan, the charade. I'll come back to that. What he said was that 1 million people can't do what Tifnubu is doing. He may be right. Because what is Tifnubu doing? Nothing. I'm coming. Here is Felix Moka, their spokesperson for the APC, Egbekegbe. Again, celebrating their by-election victory and reminding everybody, you see, 2027 is going to be a walkover too. But we'll not go agree until it happens and you begin to scream, rigging, rigging, rigging. His statement. Watch this.
No election is universally hitch-free. Almost nowhere in the world do you have an election that you can say was 100% hitch-free. But it's, all relative. The election we had last Saturday was generally, free and fair. With exceptions in some cases where I think there was clear evidence of either violence or some disruptions of sorts, like we had, in some constituency in Kano. I think it was the Bagwasano district in Kano, where we had some issue of violence, where I even had to issue a statement asking that INEC should, in fact, cancel that election. But having said that, overall, the election was, pretty good. And the outcomes are, again, very, clear and telling. The APC prevailed significantly, across, all of the districts where the elections took place. Now, look, with every election, people win and people lose. And I think it's become fashionable in our country for those who sit on their hands, who don't do enough to vie and compete for votes when elections come, to wait until the results are announced and then to go to town, speaking a lot of profanities. And that's what we're hearing, with some of which you referenced moments ago. Now, the ADC, I'm happy that we have someone on the line, should be explaining to Nigerians, how they came up with such, a very, very, austere, outing at an election, coming on the heels of all of the propaganda and all of the stories told about, their, eminence in our democratic space. They should be making that explanation, not pointing fingers at the APC. We simply, mobilized, canvassed for votes. We went out there and our candidates prevailed. And I think that we have every right to celebrate our victory at this just concluded election. No election is universally.
You okay? Sorry. Felix Moka, basking in the euphoria of their recent Pyrrhic wins or victory. But somebody was also in the studio with him who decided to remind him that by-election is just for those who are already the state government or governor to flex their muscle, because these are maybe just based elections. But you didn't walk straight into your 2027 charade with the same mindset. In his words, here.
Well, my good friend and brother, Dr. Moka, has spoken what is expected from a minder of the establishment and, a spokesperson of his party. But I'm sorry, he's gotten it completely wrong. Nigerians have watched with disgust and with appalling, dispositions what played out in the by-elections. We have, these elections conducted in 12 states, over 32 local governments, 6,987, I guess, polling units. Now, these elections, Dr. Abati, they do not in any way represent a barometer for gauging what is to come in 2027. I'm not going to take the bait from Mr. Moka to suggest that these elections, are a yardstick that will tell Nigerians what to expect in 2027. That is not the issue. The issue at stake now, the empirical issues to discuss, are the issues of transparency, integrity of the election process. You have 300 thugs arrested by security agents. In one local government alone in Kano, 200 have been arrested. There's an individual that was caught with 25.9 million naira trying to buy votes in Zamfara State. For the first time in our election history, soldiers were deployed in a ward in Sakajiki where there was, daylight box snatching. Thank God the INEC has, declared that election inconclusive. But when you look at the conduct of the elections, when you try to look at the figures, 6,900 polling units as against 176,000 polling units nationwide that will play out in 2027. This is an insignificant comparison. With every empirical indices or index or whatever you want to put it, we know that the APC will go to town, will eulogize and celebrate and make Nigerians believe that this is a huge loss for the opposition parties. And let me say this, Dr. Abati, the ADC was not literally on the ballot. There were people that had emotional attachment to their constituencies that on their own as individuals contested under the platform of the ADC, and they did so while this party, as we speak, is barely 3 months into calibration, repositioning, and catching our breath. So we expected this narrative to come out of the APC to suggest that 2027 is almost a foregone conclusion. No, it's not yet Uhuru. It is not. This is by no means a reason to compare. What is there to celebrate in this election? INEC has not lived up to the expectation of Nigerians. If anything, INEC has missed out on a history to redeem itself.
All right.
The same processes that we've seen in 2023 played out. Nothing has changed.
All right.
So there's nothing to celebrate. And it is the responsibility of the state, especially the president, to midwife a process that will make this democracy dependable and, full of integrity. Well,
okay. So he's practically saying that Tinubu needs to help kill himself politically, not like, literally. So, and he's right to some extent, right? Because APC themselves, they are also test running their own kind of like a scheme, right? Their own kind of a scheme that they want to deploy for their 2027. However, he's right in the sense that ADC probably didn't even participate in their election because as a party now, but individuals who picked up their sort of like their tickets for the elections did so mostly on their own, and some got supports from like Obi and others, right? But that's the first part. Debunking what Felix Mocker, the narrative that Felix Mocker wants to kind of like push, but he added more. This part. I'm sorry, I just discovered that the line was actually off. No wonder if you have been trying to call in and it wasn't going through, but it's back on now, okay? The other part, this one.
I think INEC as an institution has proved to Nigerians beyond any reasonable doubt, beyond any iota of doubt, that they are not ready. They are not ready to change from a leopard does not change, its spots. What played out in 2023 played out last Saturday, will play out again in 2027 if you have the same set of people, the same kind of contraption, and the individuals, from top to bottom, in the leadership of INEC. Look, let me say this. It's a bit personal, but let me share this with you. In 2016, I was privileged to contest, a by-election of a similar nature in Bauchi for the Senate, replacing, the late Ali Wakile of blessed memory. On the same day, we had an election in Daura. The results in Daura were pronounced by 11:45 p.m. My own election in Bauchi South Senatorial District took 3 days. Yes, you heard me right. 3 days to pronounce. And the reason was simple. Because the state, the establishment, INEC, had to work over a period of 3 days to cancel 83,000 votes of mine to declare an APC candidate a winner. 83,000 votes. They were mining votes from one local government to the other until they got to a number that they felt was reasonable enough to justify, their own incompetence, and so they declared the winner, the loser, as the winner. And we've seen this played out even in states where somebody that was number 3 was, part of the process that became eventually number 1. What we are saying is not about even this by-election. No, we are saying that the democratic environment that we have today is on a downward spiral, and that INEC is complicit. INEC is partly and almost entirely responsible because it is the umpire. And we always hear this kind of narrative that is so undignifying, that is so condescending, that when you lose, you can go to the courts. Which court? In which democracy? In which country? Okay. In this Nigeria of today? Okay. And it is now left for Nigerians to do a surgical analysis of what they expect to have as a free and fair election going forward. Okay. But with this contraption, I'm not convinced that we have transparency upon ourselves. No.
You won't go contest the election. You are not contesting against APC. Some of you need to begin to understand that. You are not. You are running against the umpire, in which this speaker called a contraption. And that is what is wrong with the entire contraption like Nigeria. Politicians can pull their weight, do all of that. Institutions, strong institutions, they will withstand any politician, because they will outlive that politician. Institutions can come under attacks from politicians who want to change how things are done. But strong institutions will resist them to the last. But you don't have strong institutions. You have a strong man. Nigeria is a place where they are building strong men, not strong institutions. Strong men that will decide whether to honor any institution's invite or not. Powerful men who can walk roughshod on your own constitution, in which you dare not try a tiny bit of a percentage from what they are doing. You dare not. You'll be gone. So you are contesting against INEC. You print posters. You're doing this, your campaign, this or that. You are running against the INEC because they are the ones that will declare winner. And whatever results they announce becomes it until you go to court. And you have to prove in court that you won. And that person didn't win. And exactly which court are you going to in that Nigeria today? Oh, good luck. Good luck with that. All right. Good luck. Here is the guy I told you of. That if everybody is angry with the Tifnumbu right now because he's failing, his policies, this or that, what are these guys are going to do differently? That's the better way to put it. But no, this one said 1 million Peter Obis cannot do what Tifnumbu is doing. And I'm like, what is Tifnumbu doing? Nothing. So 1 million Peter Obi can't do nothing. I don't know. But listen, his words.
Strong reforms comes with tough
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and there will be repercussions.
Oh yeah,
and there will be implications.
Implication, consequences.
But
the only question we should ask ourselves now is that, do we want to go through the tough time now and enjoy later, or want to continue and crash completely? The nation was going to crash if such steps were not taken. That's a fact. You and I know. Any intelligent, any educated person within this country knows. All those things that those opposition people are saying, they are saying all of those things to save their faces. Bring a million OB, he can't do better. I know. I can even take a bet on it.
that if Peter Obi was in government...
How? What will he do? What miracle will he perform? What miracle was he able to perform in Anambra? He was even much younger. Now, what is Obi's particular qualification, particular quality that makes him feel he can be the best Nigerian president? Let him come and tell me.
Does the arrangement on the ground show that this is a better option that Nigerians deserve?
Which I don't get you.
The arrangement that we see presently
The present government.
the ongoing scenario that we're facing right
The
now.
coalition?
Does it? No. I mean the government of the day.
Okay, yeah.
And the activities and the performance of this government. Does it present itself as the best option that Nigerians could
It's
ever
just very
deserve
simple.
or get?
We had an election in 2023. Somebody won that election. Right? The fellow that won the election deserves to rule, deserves to have his own term, in government, in governance, on one hand. Coincidentally, or consequently, the fellow that won the election happened to be the best out of all of them.
By what parameter?
Every parameter possible. I will give you just four categories, for just 4 credentials. One, this was a man who was a finance expert. He was a finance guru with mobile, multinational.
So was Peter Obi.
How? Where? He was only chairman of a bank, chairman of Fidelity Bank. Do you need a study of accounting and finance to be chairman of a bank? No. So it was. Secondly, this same man was a successful governor in Lagos State.
So was Peter Obi.
No. Bring the records. How can you say Peter Obi was successful in Anambra? He wasn't.
So was.
I'm not talking of Kwankwaso, I'm talking of Peter Obi. Kwankwaso is not a bad man. Kwankwaso is not a bad administrator. I have nothing against him. It's just that Atiku's performance as vice president is nothing to write home about. Really? His assessor, his boss assessed him as a failure, complete failure. That's Atiku. He wrote a book about him and says Atiku has a great penchant for irregularities and all of that. He said quite a lot. Go and read the book. So who among them is better than Bola Tinubu? Even as we speak, the El-Rufai is going all over the place because of his personal pain and is disgruntled for so many reasons. If he becomes president, can he do better? Did he do better in Kaduna? Why did they boo him in Kaduna during the election a few days ago? These people don't want to face the reality. Oh my!
Now do to unfa. Ma okuta to wa nbe ma yoku nbe. Ma sabi gbata ba nsa ewa.
Shegbosa. That's how they talk. You know, you have to run your position. What are you doing? Nothing. What did you do? What can you do better? All of that. Tifnubu is the best you've got. The same characters who told you that all you were going through under Bokuwari was because of PDP failures for 16 years, remember? And whatever you pass through under Bokuwari, you are going to get the reward in the future. So you suffer now, you're going to enjoy later. Baba, renewed Shege. Then you got to the renewed, no, I think it's the renewed Shege. I don't know what they are going to call the 2027 expanded Shege. Right? So Tifnubu is the best they've got, and it's the best you can get. So like I said, you had transformation to change to next devil and to renewed Shege. We don't know what is going to be next. I hope you are ready. All right? Because it's no longer like, hunger is no longer the big deal right now. It's a leveler. And here is the face. Kalu for second term. Then the best that you have in Nigeria and life. God, get patient. Now I'm still saving my time. So I can see some of you have attempted to call through and the call kept like, I don't know what happened. I am only seeing the missed calls. Keep trying because we are now getting to the part where I'm going to be like, yeah, that's me. I'll see you later. But no, now. So in that same Tifnubu's regime, like in his illegitimate regime right now, he's got this guy Tugad. He's your foreign affairs minister. So he was on TV, I think it was last night, where he categorically said that Tifnubu had cleared 516 billion naira to 6 million Nigerians in the last 2 months. They don't start again, no? So if you collected money and you don't tell me, about you have sinned now, where everybody is lamenting, complaining. 516 billion naira, according to Tugat. And right now they are planning to share another 50-something billion naira to 2 million Nigerians. So, audio, left, right, and center. Okay. Here. My brother, Oshiveso, you are here, Festus. You are up this morning, yeah? Nice one. Here, those of you collected the 519 billion, 516 billion. Ejebere need confess. You know? And those of you that will benefit from their 50-something billion too, share them. As long as these guys continues.
So far, in the next few days to come, before the end of August, we are going to reach out to 2,119,000 households.
August is ending in a few days.
This way, yes. I'm telling you, we have all said. You see, the process is such that NASCO, we have a NASCO, National Social Safety Office, that will now harvest vulnerable Nigerians based on their lowest cadre in the National Social Register.
What is the level of intervention? What sort of intervention are you looking at for those Nigerians?
For those Nigerians, for them it is a rapid conditional cash transfer, of which I've mentioned in one of my interviews. So far we have disbursed 419 billions to 590-something 5,968,000, I think, Nigerians. And the distribution, just like the National Social Register, we have distributed 71% to the northern part of the country because they have the highest voter, and then 29% to the southern part. And I'm now telling you that another 54 billion, 911,850,000 will be disbursed at the end of August to almost 2,119,000 Nigerians household. And this one, we are going to make it in such a way that we are shifting from just making transfer anonymous. It will be done publicly. We'll address people, we'll address the press, we'll also call on the press to witness, and we'll give data We can even go into the extent of giving each state what are the numbers of the beneficiaries from that state and amount of their addition. You see, I think where we had problems prior to now was the fact that things are not being made public. And now, as part of our transparency and accountability, we will tell each state, this is the amount we are giving, we are disposing to your state, and these are the beneficiaries. You can confirm, and anybody who wants to confirm can even confirm with World Bank.
How much are you hoping to send to each beneficiary?
To each, the whole, there are 3 tranches of 25,000 each, and that's to make it 75,000 per beneficiary.
Are they're going to get it in 3 times?
Yes, 3 tranches. And then the interval will not be, it's not going to be a long interval, within a short period, so that we can easily discern. People will say 75,000 is nothing. But 75,000 is a big money to a lot of people.
Nuisance, Lele.
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún.
How many of you noticed that whenever any member of APC, Egbekegbe, or those with this Tifnumbu, especially his ministers, whenever they want to drop any stat or statistic, right? They just pull any number from their ass. That's when you see them do about 419 for 519,000, 5,900,000. They are making it up. They are making it up. But you don't understand what is 500 billion. Take a look at it. I did it this way. He said they are going to invite the media to come and witness how they are doing cash transfer. Their problem is because they are not telling or showing it that they are giving people money. Do you know that Tifnumbu and his gang, by all estimation, they have actually shared more than 6 billion naira to the poorest Nigerians in the last 2 years? Do you know that? But you will never be able to lay your hand on any data that says these are the disbursing banks. Very easy. If you are doing cash transfer, that data, not necessarily that you have to give people's data out. No. What you have to do is just see what banks are disbursing the money. Zenith Bank, 800 billion naira. First Bank, 450 billion naira. Oceanic Bank. You still have Oceanic. Do you still have Oceanic Bank? Bank PHP. Just list them like that. UBA, Wema Bank, say this is how much federal government gave to them. First Bank is paying 300,000 Nigerians. Wema Bank is paying 1.2 million Nigerians. Access Bank is paying 900,000 Nigerians. You need that data. That is when you can say, okay, the money with this boss, though, Zenith Bank collected 450 billion. It's so straightforward. It's so simple. It's public money. But they will always announce it. Then they will go to all these states with some bag of money. They will gather people, poor people, most of them APC members. They put them together everywhere. They'll start giving them money, taking pictures. 20,000, 20,000, 20,000. Yeah. They will make it a ceremony, like a huge one. Do them in Gombe, do them in Bauchi, do them in Kano, do it as well in Nasarawa, do it in Abuja, partly. Just at the outskirts. Then come to the south, go to Owerri, do it in Owerri, do it in Oka, go to somewhere in Idemili or wherever you. I've been Osofia. Go to somewhere, do it there, take pictures, cross the border or cross the border, go straight down to Niger Delta, stop in Bayelsa, go to Port Harcourt. Just do few here, share and share. At the end of the day, you don't even need to share 100 million naira. 800 billion naira has been given to 16 million Nigerians. Give us proof. No, what do you mean give us proof? People are already collected. They are so happy with Tifnumbu. Give us proof. It is public money. It's not Tifnumbu's money. But they always make all this announcement because they are pulling the numbers from their asses. You ask them, how many students do you think they have in Nigeria colleges and universities? Possibly about 10 million, you know? So how many of them do you have in the public schools? Okay, let's use a rough figure. I'm just using rough figures now. Let's say 4 million or 5 million. Half of that. Then Tifnumbu removed the education subsidy for federal students. Let's say how many of them are the federal-owned university? How many of them are federal students? Maybe 1 million, or maybe 2 million. Let's say 2 million. Then Tifnumbu removed education subsidy. Schools are now billing students who used to pay 15,000, 10,000 as their own tuition. They are now being billed 200,000, 270,000, 400,000 naira. Public school, federal government school. Now ask them to come and take loan. Then they boldly came out and said, yeah, we removed that nearly 2 years ago. But do you know something? The one we replaced it with, which is a loan for these children, right? They can still go to school. At least they can, if they cannot afford it, they can still collect loan. Now, we are proud to tell you that we have over 200,000 of them who have collected the loan. It is such a success. What happened to the 1.8 million that we have to go and source for their own, either still waiting for student loan, and they still, they just have to go and source for the money elsewhere. No, don't talk about them. We have 200,000 that has collected. It's very successful. It's an ongoing thing. Everybody will still collect. That's the policy. And some of you are students who are really struggling, begging for tuition here and there. People are now telling you that, they look balloon. Go and apply for Tifnumbu loan now. And you say, loan, well, they haven't approved it for us, Jerry. They haven't given us. Can you go? They don't want you to talk about those ones. No. Let's talk about the 200,000. Forget about the 1.8 million. Tifnumbunomic. Tifnumbu logic. You know? And you count body like that too, right? You can't share 500 billion to poor people, Baba, that you won't get to actually feel it. Do you understand what that means? 500 billion is like pumping it into your economy. But the money is not in your economy. A fraction of it is, the rest have been exchanged to dollars and they've taken it out of Nigeria. Like, do you need a rocket scientist to explain that to you? No, you shouldn't. Come on, man. You shouldn't need any rocket scientist to explain that to you. They can't pump 6 trillion naira into the hands of the poor people in the last 2 years. And guess what? As much as the money itself is so ridiculous, but trust me, the effect of the poverty, begging, and almost homelessness in that contraption won't be this massive, I promise you. Because it is that money, that 6 trillion, will be circulating within the system. They will be the ones to buy this, buy that, even though they may not be able to buy anything. A minister in Nigeria was proud to go on TV and say, well, you know what, we are offering and giving our citizens every month, we are giving them $20. Is it up to $20? No, it's not. But we're giving our citizens $15 every month. In an economy where food inflation is more than 400%. But they are lying to their people. They are so cold-hearted, right? They are doctoring statistics. That's when you get to know that, Baba, this is just the beginning, no? Because you can't lie your way through economics. It doesn't work that way. Eventually, now here you go feel out, which is what the majority are feeling right now. It go better, it go better. It go better, it go better. Emeka don't get bothered, though. You get her? I say, for it. That is, they push and Baba. People don't get hope for head now. You go see 25-year-old young man, they don't go bored. See what's up, he say, not stress, lots of fear. It go better. You don't turn 45. You're already looking like a 65. You are still thanking God, though. The effect of a worse economy, when they are doctoring stats, you can't plan any progress on fake statistics. When you doctor it and you push it and promote it and say, well, people will feel it later. The economy is stable now. It's no longer fluctuating. Confidence will be built. Over time, the prosperity will trickle down. That's what they're telling the majority. The minority at the top are celebrating their win because easy money flowing in, bond here and there, collecting interest here and there. Their policy is not for you. Maybe I'm going to another terrain there that is, okay. Anyway, I have done my own bit too. I have another thing I wanted to add, but I'll leave that for later, okay? So thank you very much for your time. For those of you who attempted to call in but didn't succeed, let's hope that tonight will be different, and I will see you later tonight, right? So thanks for your time, but remember, like the broadcast before you go, right? Like it, share it. I'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your morning or afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary politico.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.